Hi, this is Susie with Creative Cafe, and today we're going to do part 3 of the Halloween mini album tutorial. And on this one, we're going to do the two little flips here and the coffee sleeve. So, I bought these little things at Hobby Lobby. There were like 5 in a package with the little O-ring there that made a book. And anyway, these are what I used in my mini. But now if you're just cutting chipboard, if you don't have these and you're just going to cut some chipboard, you need 2 pieces at 5 3/4 by 4 1/4. So anyway, this is how I did my one page. Now I actually did what looked like a 1 page on my back side, but in this album I actually put it on the front side. You'll just do it the same way as if you're going to do it on the back side as if you did it in the front. So it all works the same way. But what I did with this here, there are several ways that you can figure out how you want to make it all look like the same piece of paper, just in 2 different pieces. And you can measure both pieces like this, and then just simply take your ruler and kind of set it where you want it to be, especially if you have one that's just kind of clear like this, and you know that you want 9 inches or 8 3/4 inches. You can kind of see right there how you want it, and I just mark it with a pencil, you know, and then go my width and mark it 2 different places there, and then give me an even line to cut with. Or you can actually, and this is actually what I did, and this might be harder for most people. It probably would have been easier some other way, but I felt where my cardboard was. And this is how I figured out where I wanted my page. And I drew my line according to where I felt the ends at. Or you could actually go this way. You know, if you know you want to go right at the top of this, you could just kind of, you know, put them both on the very top like that. And then just cut, you know, mark it so that you can have an even cut on the cutter. And then I just took my X-Acto knife. Once I got them pasted on, I simply just took my X-Acto knife and cut. And there's how I did my page. And I took my X-Acto knife and just cut once I had adhered them on the cardboard. So that's how I did it. As far as punching the holes, if you do have these, what I did was I measured this, which this was right at 3 inches, this edge. So I took and measured a 1/2 inch up. I took my pencil, and I don't have a pencil right there, but I took my pencil and I found my 1.5 inches, and I just made a little mark up here with a pencil where I could erase it. And then I stuck it in my bind it all just in the center. So I took my bind it all and I stuck it in here and just found my center and lined my pencil mark up with my little center mark there. And that's how I punched these two to get them centered in the bind it all. So I papered both of those sides, and that, like I said, on my other, I did it actually on this side in the book, but this I wanted to do differently, so I just put it in the front. Then I made my photo mats, and remember to paper both sides before you use your bind it all and punch your holes. Be sure both sides are papered. And then my photo mats here on these are the backing, which I did in black cardstock, is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4, and then my patterned photo mats are 3 5/8 by 5 1/8. And then all I did was just center them on there. Get this nice and taped up here. Okay. And then all I do is just kind of center it, because they're really going to come close to these edges if you have these little, you know, these little indents here. And I just kind of make them even on both things here where it's kind of centered, and just press it down. And that is all there is to this. And there's my page, and of course when they get in the book they're going to be a little spread out like that, but they still are the complete page. And then here is the back side with my patterned paper, and then my photo mats. Then for my coffee sleeve, all I did was take the coffee sleeve and I inked, of course, my edges, because I did not wrap my paper around it. I simply took the coffee sleeve and I traced it out on the paper, and that's how I cut it. I just cut it with scissors after I traced it out. And then I found something that I wanted to attach to the coffee sleeve, because all it's going to do is hold the tag. And so this is what I went for. It was really the only long part in the curtain call paper that was long enough and slender enough to use. So, and then just like before on the previous pages where part of this is going to be sticking out, I did paper a little piece so that when it is turned in the book, it will kind of look like this, and it has something, and it isn't just the plain old cardstock hanging there. So that's how I did that. And with this, I'm just simply going to use my ATG gun again, because I think it will stick well enough. So, and I'm actually going to really put that pretty close to those my little holes there that I punched. And I'm going to kind of just center it between these two where I look like I have the same amount there. Because of the coffee sleeve going kind of curved there, I want it to just look more evened here. So then when it's flipped, of course you see here is my papered side. Now for my tag that I made to slip in this, just like this, I made it a 6 1/8 by 3 7/8, and then the mat on the inside of the tag is a 5 3/4 by 3 1/2. And then of course I just used my tab punch. This is a Stampin' Up! Tab punch, just a corner rounder punch, I think is what it was called. And then on my back side I just decorated it with, you know, a piece of the paper that I had cut out. And, you know, all I did was just take my piece and I cut it out, and then I backed it in some of this crafty tan paper. Then I picked some pattern paper and then backed it again in the beigey cream craft color. So that is my tag. Now when I went to use my Bind It All, this was really kind of different to get that punched, because what I had to do was I had to kind of put it in here, and I don't know if it's going to fit with all my stuff on there. You want to do it, make sure you punch it before you add all this on here. But what I had to do was I had to simply look and try to get it where I would not punch a partial punch in my paper. So this is what I did, and I'm actually going to have more on this side than I will on this side when I go to punch it. But it was really the only place that I could get, you know, 4 full punches and not have a partial punch in there. So anyway, that's how I did it. And then I just punched it with my Bind It All that way. So anyway, I didn't put anything on the back of this coffee sleeve. I might still yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the back side. But this is just the general rule for the coffee sleeve. And my tag, you know, has to be a little smaller because you don't want it getting into your hole. So I actually made the tag just as large as I could without coming in the holes. So anyway, that is how I made those two little inserts here, and then my coffee sleeve for the next page. So that's part 3, and then in 2 days I will upload part 4. Thanks so much for watching.